Great morning, you all. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. This is your girl, Shan. I hope you all can hear me because, of course, I'm outside. I'm not at home in my good old oasis or whatever in the backyard where I love to be. However, I didn't go live last week. I said I have to go live this week. So, as I always say, church announcement. If you guys can join us tonight for Marriage Mondays with the Kings at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on KRGN 98.5 FM The Rock. We are going to be speaking about parentified child and how it affects marriage. Parentified child and how it affects marriage. So if you don't know what a parentified child is, no worries. Go to Google, look it up, and join us tonight. Now, if you want to listen to tonight's show, go to our website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com. Click on the Listen Here tab, and then there's a myriad of ways if you want to join us on the radio station. Good morning, sunshine. God, I almost said your name. Then, feel free to join us. We would love to hear your feedback. Some of you all are guilty and don't even know that you're guilty of being a parentified child. So go ahead and head over to Google and see what that means. Anywho, I want to talk to y'all this morning. First off, shout out to our little cousins. We were at a beautiful wedding on last night. It was beautiful. It was simple. It wasn't over the top. Everything was beautiful. The wedding and the reception. So shout out to the Pews, Mr. and Mrs. Pugh. You guys did that, and we appreciate being a part of your special day. But that's what I want to talk about this morning. Love. Basically, how do you like to be loved? Good morning, sunshine. Do you know what love is? What does that mean to you? This is where I'm coming from and thinking. I know in the past I've spoke about love versus lust. A lot of us don't understand the difference, especially when you first get together. You got them butterflies in your stomach, honey. You just know you are in love. But love versus lust. But I want to talk about love, and this is something that made me think about. This is why it's very important, and let me holler at the singles real quick, to have a conversation with the individual that you are going to go into marriage with. This is why it's very important to do premarital counseling, because you really need to understand the foundation of the individual, what it looks like. Not that we're judging, not that we're saying that anybody have to be perfect, but what is the foundation of their idea of love? That's very important. See, a lot of times when we get married, coming into marriage in the first 4 years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years, there are a lot of individuals who get frustrated because you don't believe that your spouse loved you, your husband or your wife. You said you loved me on the wedding day, but now you acting different. Like, do you really love me? But this is the question we have to ask ourselves. And you know that the Kings are not here to point fingers or anything like this. However, the question to ask yourself is this: what does love look like to you, and what did it look like growing up? Let me wait for this plane to come over. I'm in the DFW area. I don't know. What did it look like for you growing up, love? How did you see your parents love each other? What did that look like? Did you see them hugging? Did you see them, patting and flirting with each other? And baby, I love you and you mean everything to me. Did you hear those words? Or no? And trying to, not trying to tell nobody business, but 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. What we don't understand is when we come into marriage, that's the same idea and mindset that we take into our marriage, whether we want to or not. A lot of us, back in the day now, some of y'all used to hear this. Well, that's just what my parents used to do. Well, that's just what I seen growing up. Let me tell you something. That is so not an excuse. I did not know what love was. When my husband kept telling me before he was my husband, I love you. I promise to God, if y'all ever see him, y'all can ask him. I said, yeah, right. I was like, how do you love me? You don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is, yes, this man could have had love for me, but I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what to expect when love was supposed to come from someone who say that they love you. You know what I'm saying? I gave that man a hard time because the reality of it was I didn't know what love was. And so I had to learn to allow my husband to love me. I had to learn not to have a smart mouth every time he said he loved me. And I didn't know I was getting an attitude. But then this is the caveat. This is the biggest piece. We have to learn how to love ourselves. What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? This is another thing I want to ask. Do you base love off of the material possessions that your family gave, your mom and your dad gave you to show you, quote unquote, what love looked like? That may be the same trait that you're passing on to your spouse. Your spouse, whether it be your husband or wife, may be saying, showing their love in the way that they best know how. But for you, it's not good enough because my daddy, this is the first vehicle that I was driving. My mama, she used to take me to the spa, so you need to, wait a minute now. We can't diminish the love that our husband or wife is giving to us based off of what they know to be his love. That's why it's important to have a conversation. That's why it's important to sit your chair down and be like this. Because, baby, had I known the things that I know now, I thank God that I know, but had I known, my question would have been, if I was single, back then, is what does love look like to you? What did it look like in your home? When your upbringing, how did you see love exemplified when it came to who mirrored that? Who exemplified love for you? What is your idea? And if, Joker don't know, hey, y'all can learn that thing together, but that would at least give you an idea of why the individual that you're looking to marry, why they do the things that they do. So this is kind of just something to make us think on this morning. What does love look like? Some of y'all on here, let's just keep it 100. Y'all have been married 20, 25 years, and a lot of y'all are just existing in your marriage. You make it look like, Shannon's in somebody's business. You make it look like that you all lovey-dovey and everything to the world. But baby, when you get behind them walls of that house, that's not what it reflects. And parents, I'm going to ask you this. What model is it that you are giving for your children to follow? Because we got to understand, our children, we are the roadmap to what the world and life is going to look like. If we don't model those things in front of them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go and turn to everything else that they feel is going to teach them how to navigate and maneuver this life. So what examples are you setting? Are you guilty? Because I know we used to be like this. Me and Kenyon had told y'all we have nothing to hide. But we used to make it look good on the outside. Because think about, and I had to think about where you get this from. You know how growing up, and some of y'all, especially in the country, have dealt with this as well. But you know how growing up, you always had to be put together, baby, when you walked out that house. You see what I'm saying? You had to make sure that your face was washed, your clothes looked decent, you had on some good clean drawers, you know what I'm saying? Because what did mama and them or whoever raised you used to say, in case you got to go to the doctor or you got to go to the emergency room, you ain't gonna have me out here looking crazy in the streets. So I bring that up to say this. We have been taught to make things look good on the outside, even when it's toe up on the inside. So I just encourage you, if this is you on this morning in your marriage, baby, ask yourself, what is love to you? Because in order for you to be able to feel like you are truly loved by your husband or your wife, you got to be able to be mature enough to communicate with them what love is to you. Baby, this is how I desire to be loved. When you do this, when you say this, different things like that. But if you don't know, you can't get mad at your husband and your wife for them not loving you the way that you think that they should love you. Good morning, sunshine. Because you don't know how to be loved. You don't even know what that looks like. I encourage the parents on this morning, if you are in a come on now, we need to be able to model this for our children. You know what I'm saying? Where you kissing, giving each other a kiss and stuff in the kitchen. They like, oh, that's gross. You know what I'm saying? It's gross to them now, baby. But guess what? They're going to be modeling. They're going to be doing the same thing prayerfully that they seen you do. And for those of you who are single, baby, ask the questions. You ain't got to interrogate the person that is showing some strong interest in you, but learn how to sit down and have mature conversations before you say I do. Because if you do it before you say I do, and even though it feels uncomfortable, it'll start to be comfortable, and you can have those conversations when you are married. Don't wait until you get married to me. Well, we'll sit down and have that, baby. Every married person could tell you on here the devil is a lie. Don't even fool yourself and have that mindset going into, your marriage like that. So if you got nothing out of this morning, what is love to you? How can your husband or your wife show love to you? Who modeled what love should look like, to you? Where did you get that from? Or did you have to learn it Hard Knocks Life? And that's most of us. We had to learn it Hard Knocks Life. I thought love was what I seen on TV when you had the Huxtables and when you had Martin and Gina and different things like that. Little House on Prairie, all this kind of stuff. But that was fake. But that's what I wanted, that type of love, or at least that's what I thought as a young child. Now I'm a whole grown adult. We are whole grown people. What does love look like? Because as we can see, not trying to be mean, baby, the world don't care 2 cents about you, okay? Make sure you put all your energy and effort into having that wholesome marriage. But you have to first examine yourself and see what you like and what you don't like. Now, join us tonight for Marriage Mondays with the Kings, our radio show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we are going to be speaking about parentified child and how that affects marriage. A lot of y'all on here are or were parentified children, okay? Another term for it, if you can't find the definition of parentified child, is parentification. Go and see what that means right now, because some of you all, and I'm not going to get into tonight's show, because some of you all were raised as parentified children. It's affecting your marriage right now, but you don't think it's a problem because you think that is what you're supposed to be doing, and your spouse is feeling miserable, okay? We need a whole balance, honey. But I'm going to leave that for tonight's show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to listen in, because we always get people to inbox us, go to our website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com. Click on the Listen Here tab. Go ahead and Google what parentification is and parentified child so you'll be ready for it tonight, and provide that feedback to us. We love when y'all give us feedback because we pray for God to use us to be a blessing so we can be out here fighting this war against marriage and healthy families and amazing communities. So, be a blessing this week and not a curse. Share this because it's free, because somebody need to hear this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to not only get up with your girl every Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time all around the world, but also support Marriage Mondays with the Kings, our radio show. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining me. Your girl will be back with you next week with whatever it is that God places on my heart. So God bless you and blessings to you.